Welcome back, travelers. I am the Keeper of Tales. It seems the woods have got their hooks in us once again. We've uncovered another tale, one that's sure to pique your curiosity. Before we begin, please don't forget to hit that like button, share if you dare, and let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from, especially if you've got woods nearby. Now, grab your headphones, dim the lights, and find somewhere cozy. Let's begin.
The fire crackled in the center of the clearing, throwing shadows that danced along the tree line. Trevor sat back in his worn canvas chair, boots propped up on a cooler, a half-drained beer in his calloused hand. The night was cool, stars overhead, and the kind of silence only the deep woods could offer, punctuated now and then by the hoot of an owl or the distant rustle of something too small to worry about. Across the flames sat Dale, Clay, and Jerome, old hunting buddies who knew each other well enough to pick up a conversation after 6 months like no time had passed. Clay was finishing up a story, his voice pensive, eyebrows furrowed slightly. I must have been in their stand half the day. I finally decided I better just get going since I weren't seeing anything. Started on my way back to the truck, and I hear a noise behind me. I turned to look, and at first I didn't see a thing. Then this thing stood up. Must have been about 8 feet tall, and it was covered in fur. But it wasn't no bear. Head was wrong. It stood there adjusting itself like a runner at the starting line. Bones cracking and muscles flexing under that fur. Its amber eyes focused on me, studying like it was trying to decide. I didn't shoot. Couldn't. Just ran back to the truck and peeled out of there. I've hunted my whole life. I know what a bear looks like, and this was no bear.
My name is Nico, and I'm gonna tell you something. A story. I know some of you will just dismiss it as the ramblings of a guy who's lost his shit, but even so, I have to tell it. I have to explain how I got to where I am now. I was a promising college student, had a lot going for me. If I stayed on track with my studies, I'd be headed toward a solid career, maybe even something great. But all it took was one decision, one stupid choice to derail all of that. It started at a party, innocent enough. I wasn't even supposed to be there. My roommate dragged me along so he wouldn't look like a loner. The place was packed, wall-to-wall bodies, cheap beer, music turned up past distortion, and the faint smell of vape clouds and bad decisions. I stuck to the kitchen, quietly nursing a warm drink in a red Solo cup that had more backwash than booze. I wasn't the social type, never had been. But as the buzz of conversation swirled around me, one fragment stood out. 2 guys near the fridge, leaning in close, whispering. "It's not on the regular web," one said. "You gotta use Tor. That's how you even find the entry node." I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but they weren't exactly subtle. "I'm telling you," the other said. "I saw it. A red room, like an actual one. There were people watching, no fakes. It was live." I frowned. That old urban legend, the dark web torture stream, snuff film stuff? I'd heard about it before. It always sounded like internet campfire bullshit. Still, something in their voices was off. They weren't bragging. They sounded shaken. I didn't say anything. Just watched them leave, talking low and fast. But my curiosity, that quiet, gnawing kind, had already latched on. And later that night, when the apartment was quiet and the world felt shrink-wrapped in stillness, I downloaded Tor. Now that's not all you have to do, but I ain't gonna give you a step-by-step tutorial. Not gonna have your blood on my conscience. I was expecting something edgy, maybe a creepy interface or a busted old chat room filled with wannabe hackers and fake red room bait. But the site I found, it didn't even have a name. Just a black screen. A single blinking cursor. And one question. Do you wish to see? No buttons, no menus. Just a yes or no prompt, old terminal style. I typed yes. The screen flashed white, then loaded what looked like an old streaming hub. Grainy thumbnails, no titles, just timestamps. A few had live tags and red text. One was just a dark hallway. Another looked like a grainy feed of an empty chair in a room lined with plastic. I clicked on one that said archived. It was weird. A looping clip of a man walking down a hall over and over. No sound. Every time he got to a door at the end, the clip reset. I watched for maybe a minute before closing it. Every other stream was like that. Nonsensical loops, static, or a black screen. It felt more like second-year film school students uploading all their projects. After maybe 20 minutes of browsing, I laughed. All that hype for this? I closed my laptop, shook my head, and went to bed. But that night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that empty chair, the way the room looked, how it almost seemed like the chair was waiting. For what? I didn't know. Still, I chalked it all up to late-night nerves and curiosity burnout. Nothing more than internet weirdness. But that was before I went back, and that was before I showed it to Jordan. I told Jordan about the site a couple days later, just in passing. We were grabbing fast food and talking about classes, and I mentioned it like you'd mention a weird dream. It was nothing, I said. Just some bizarre looping videos. Looked more like some dude's film school project than anything illegal. Jordan raised a brow. So like, no snuff? No red room? Nah, I said. Some empty rooms, one with a chair, that's about it. But he wasn't done. That night he messaged me, send me the link, I want to see it myself. I hesitated, then sent it. An hour later he was at my door with his laptop and a six-pack. Pull it up, he said. Let's see how fake this creepypasta is. We sat side by side in the dark, my screen glowing with that same nameless site. Just like before, black screen, blinking cursor. Do you wish to see? I typed yes. The thumbnails loaded. This time one of the live tags blinked faster. The chair room was back, but now the angle was different. There were two chairs. One of them was still empty. The other... Jordan leaned closer. Dude, is that guy tied up? I didn't answer. I just clicked. The feed stuttered, then loaded. A man sat bound in the second chair, arms strapped, head slumped. But now the camera was closer. You could see bruises on his face, dried blood on his shirt. He stirred, barely, just enough to show he was alive. Then the lights in the room flickered. A shadow moved in the corner. A figure entered the frame, face covered, holding something that looked like a pair of bolt cutters. Jordan whispered, "What the hell is this?" I swallowed hard. I don't know, but it's not fake. The man in the chair lifted his head, bloodied and slow. He looked directly into the camera, and then Jordan said it. "We should call the cops." That's when it happened. The stream paused, not buffered, paused. Then a chat box appeared in the corner. "Now why would you do that?" Jordan stared. "What the hell?" I didn't respond. I didn't know how. Then another line appeared. "If you do, we will find you." Okay, I had to take care of a few things, but I am back now. You're probably wondering how I'm still telling this story. Truth is, I wondered the same thing when I woke up this morning. But that's for later. After that night, everything changed. I don't live like normal people anymore. I don't use debit cards, I pay in cash. I take jobs that don't ask for a name. Warehouse shifts, late-night janitor gigs, under-the-table construction, anything to stay off the radar. I don't sleep much, but when I do, it's light, no dreams, just static. You think I've been hiding, waiting around for them to come back? I've been surviving. Truth is, I wasn't built for this, not back then. I didn't have teeth, I didn't have claws, but when you're dropped into the dark long enough, you start to see in it. You learn to move with it, adapt. I don't talk to anyone, I don't stay anywhere long. I've learned things, not enough to fight them, not yet, but enough to stay breathing. And yeah, someone was following me. I lost him. Maybe next time, I won't run. Maybe. Jordan left that night in silence. He didn't make a joke. didn't say goodbye. Just grabbed his bag, muttered something about needing air, and was gone. I didn't try to stop him. I didn't know what to say. Hell, I barely knew what I was thinking. I sat there for what felt like hours, staring at that screen, waiting for the stream to come back. It didn't. The chat box remained, cursor blinking like it was daring me to type something back. I shut the laptop and didn't open it again for 2 days. Then the messages started. I think someone's been following me. That was from Jordan. I called him. No answer. Texted again. Nothing. The next day, another message. They know where I live. I saw someone across the street last night. Same guy from earlier, just standing there. That was the last thing I ever got from him. A full day passed. No posts, no texts, no calls. His phone started going straight to voicemail. I went to his apartment. Lights were off, mail was stacked at the door, his car was still in the lot, but he was gone. I sat in my own apartment that night, turning things over in my head, trying to figure out if I should go to the police, report him missing, say something, anything. But what would I say? That we watched a snuff stream and got threatened by a ghost in a chat box? That we clicked on the wrong part of the internet and now my best friend was missing? I walked all the way to the police station, stood at the front steps, watched the door, but I couldn't go inside. I felt it again, that pressure, that knowing. They were watching me too. That night I saw the van, plain white, no logos, parked just down the street, no headlights, no engine noise, but it was there, watching, waiting. The next morning it was gone, but that night it was back. And then, the email. No subject, just an attachment. I almost deleted it, but curiosity is a bastard. I opened it. It was a photo. Jordan, tied to the chair, the same chair, same plastic sheeted walls, same wide-angle camera. Blood on his face, his eyes swollen shut. Below the image, a message in all caps. Jordan didn't heed our warning. It seems you haven't either. The screen went black. I spun in my chair, just as a bag dropped over my head. No struggle, no time to scream. Everything vanished. Darkness swallowed me whole. I woke up in a moving vehicle. I had no idea how long I had been out. All I know is that we were on the road for a while longer. When the vehicle stopped, it was quiet at first. I was put in a wheelchair and led through a door that squeaked and rattled my senses as it shut behind me. Then I heard it, but not before a metallic copper-tinged odor reached my nostrils. Moans, screams, human voices echoing off distant walls. It sounded like an insane asylum, like people who'd been there too long. Before I could process it, I was injected with something. My vision blurred. My body went limp. I woke up later in a chair. Plastic walls, buzzing lights, my arms strapped down, head pounding, wrist itching. Same room, same smell, sterile and electric, but this time it felt different, colder, more aware. The camera was in front of me, red light blinking like a pulse. A speaker crackled to life, distorting with static before a calm, inhuman voice cut through. Welcome back. Unfortunately, your friend didn't make it through the game. Maybe you'll do better. I tried to speak, but my throat felt like it had been sandpapered raw. Panic welled up, but it was slow, like my body had already used up all the adrenaline. A second voice, artificial and almost clinical, began listing rules, timed responses, penalties for delay, compliance expectations. Then the screen blinked on, a countdown, and below it, 2 options. One marked in green, one in red. There was no explanation. I hesitated. The timer hit 0. Pain, white hot, blinding. Not like being burned, like being opened. I screamed, or maybe I didn't. I just remember the light going out again. Blackness swallowed me whole. I remember a voice saying calmly, "You survived this time, but next you may not be so lucky." And then nothing. When I came to, I was back in my apartment. The room looked exactly how I left it. Same unwashed cup on the desk. Same hoodie on the back of the chair. Except now, there was a box. And a note, a gesture of good faith. Inside the box were fingers, cleaned, preserved, arranged carefully like souvenirs. I stared at them for what felt like hours. until I looked down. My hand was bandaged, 2 fingers gone, and that's when I saw it. A mark on the inside of my wrist. A tattoo. Black ink etched into my skin. The same symbol from the site. The same one on the wall behind the chair. What did it mean? A warning. A claim. It wasn't over. It was just beginning. Over the next few days, I kept to myself. The pain was constant but dull. The kind of ache that reminds you you're still alive. I stayed inside. No screens, no calls. And then came the knock at the door. 2 detectives. Coats, badges, dead eyes. They said Jordan was missing. Last seen leaving my place. They asked the usual questions. When did I last see him? What was he like that night? Did he say anything unusual? I told them he left after we hung out. I said I didn't know what happened to him. But right when I thought about telling them the truth, or some version of it, I caught myself looking at my hand, at the missing fingers, at the bandages. I hesitated. And then I lied. They gave me a card, told me to call if I remembered anything else. As they were leaving, one of them, tall guy, pale, turned back and looked at me. Not just a glance. He stared, like he knew. That's when I saw it. The inside of his wrist. The same tattoo. Same symbol. After they left, I sat alone. Just me and the buzzing in my skull. I couldn't tell if that detective was one of them, or just another victim like me. For the first time in days, I realized something. I hadn't seen the van again. No shadows trailing me on the street. No random black SUVs parked at the corner. Nothing. It was like the silence that comes after the scream. Too quiet. For a moment I thought maybe it was over. Maybe they'd finished with me. Maybe I passed. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number, 1 message. You are one of us now. And below it, the symbol. I knew right then what I had to do. I didn't wait. I packed my laptop, a change of clothes, what little cash I had, and vanished. No goodbyes, no trail, just gone. I've been ghost ever since. So if you're reading this, you're hearing my voice, listen carefully. Don't go looking. Don't be curious. Don't be like me.
Well, that was unexpected. Seems like Nico had a message he just couldn't keep to himself. Bold move, hijacking our feed like that. But I suppose when the world's on fire, whispers just won't do. Once we get our systems and sanity back online, we'll return to our regularly scheduled story. My life-changing encounter with Bigfoot. Until then, tell us in the comments, what do you make of Nico's story? Like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. And as always, should you... Oh, never mind. He's already ruined my closing line. See you on the other side.